And, and then for perhaps the final video of the day, barring some September 23rd, a few minutes late event happening, and I got to run out here to give you breaking news, which I doubt is going to happen. I'll go back to Zero Hedge for an article. Spain in crisis. Catalan police reject Madrid takeover and vow to resist. Now, if you recall, been covering this a few times now. Catalonia, a powerhouse for GDP, for the country of Spain, has decided we've had enough. You got the whole country still in massive debt. We're paying a big line share of it. We're a tiny, small part of Spain. We don't want anything to do with you anymore. You promised us more, power per se, or more say so in certain matters, and you didn't give it to us. You said you would do it, you didn't give it to us. It's time to go. We want to secede now, right? And I said they had this referendum coming up, which again was this weekend, and they want to vote to basically say, piss off Spain. We want to become our own country. Spanish government, of course, seeing this big cash cow wanting to leave, has pretty much labeled it a illegal activity, and they're going to arrest the mayors and governor, or not the governor, but the mayors and any political people who help this along or try to do this vote, and yada yada yada. They came in, they arrested a bunch of people, and then a bunch of people who were in Catalonia who really weren't for secession, after seeing the strong arm of the government, are now head over heels to secede. I can't believe they responded like that, and now I can see why my other countrymen, if you will, of Catalonia wanted to leave, and now I'm on board. So that's how that was going. Looks like I have a little update here from Zero Hedge. Spain found itself on the verge of a full-blown sovereign crisis on Saturday after the rebel region of Catalonia rejected giving more control to the central government in defiance of authorities in Madrid, who are trying to suppress an independence referendum on October 1st. So maybe what am I talking about this weekend? Anyways, as tensions rise ahead of the planned Catalan referendum on October 1st, and as Madrid's crackdown on separatist passions took a turn for the bizarre overnight when, as we reported, Spain's plan to send boatloads of military police to Catalonia to halt the referendum backfired, with dockers in two ports staging a boycott and refused them access. On Saturday, Spain's public prosecutor's office told Catalan police chief Josep Luis Trapero that his officers must now obey orders from a senior state-appointed police coordinator, Spanish news agency EFE reported on Saturday. The Catalan police, however, disagreed. And as Bloomberg reports, the SAP or SAP union, the largest trade group for the 17,000-member Catalan police, known as Mossos d'Esquerda, said it would resist hours after prosecutors Saturday ordered that it accept central government coordination. The rejection echoed comments by Catalan separatist authorities. We don't accept this interference of the state, jumping over all existing coordination mechanisms, the region's interim department chief, Mr. Forn, said in a brief televised comment. The Mossos don't or won't renounce exercising their functions in loyalty to the Catalan people. The Mossos are one of the symbols of Catalonia's autonomy, and for many Catalans, the prosecutor's decision may be reminiscent of the 1936 to 1939 Spanish Civil War and subsequent dictatorship of Francisco Franco when the Mossos was abolished. In a joint press conference today with the Catalan Home Affairs Minister, Mr. Forn, and the Mossos chief, Josep Luis Trapero, Forn said that the move by Spain was unacceptable. We denounce the Spanish government's will of seizing the Mossos, as they did with Catalonia's finances, Forn said, adding that the Catalan government does not accept this interference. It bypasses all the institutions that the current legal framework already has in place to guarantee the securities of Catalonia. Additionally, Trapero expressed his intention to not accept the measure, which he described as interference by the state, and also warned that it skips over all the bodies of legal framework to coordinate the security of Catalonia. Earlier on Saturday, El País reported that Civil Guard Colonel Diego Perez de los Cobos, Chief of Staff of the Interior Ministry Security Department, was named by a prosecutor to coordinate the efforts of the Civil Guard, the National Police, and the local Mossos Spanish media reported unnamed Home Office sources as saying the measure did not mean withdrawing any powers from the Mossos formally, but rather requiring them to submit to a joint coordination operation to stop the Catalan referendum from taking place on October 1st. However, shortly after the reshuffling, Catalan police chief, Josep, rejected giving up control to the central government during a meeting with the heads of other police forces on Saturday, adding that all possible legal challenges would be studied. According to La Vanguardia, Trapero protested at that meeting about the decision to impose central government control on the regional police force. Also on Saturday morning, as the police meeting in Barcelona took place, the regional interior minister, Mr. Forn, published a defiant message on Twitter. "We will encounter many difficulties. The state wants to take control of our self-government, but they will not stop us. Hashtag Hello Republic," he says. Ironically, as Bloomberg writes, while Mossos chief Trapero reports to the regional government, his force's funding is mostly provided by Madrid, and it's supposed to take orders from judges and prosecutors from across the country. Article 155 of the Spanish Constitution lets the central government take control of a regional administration if it poses a threat to the national interest. Rajoy has already made moves in that direction. Earlier this week, the budget ministry took over management of Catalan's finances and will issue paychecks to more than 200,000 public workers in the region, including the police. That said, any more direct challenge to the Mossos would be fraught with risk because Trapero, its leader, has become something of a local hero since leading the response to the terrorist attacks in August. Separatists are selling t-shirts with his face printed on them. According to Reuters, the Catalan government also believes that the Mossos takeover bypasses the Catalan statute, Article 164, in constitutional law, and the Spanish prosecutor that ruled in favor of Madrid taking control had overstepped his legal boundaries, saying that it had no power to rule on who had the authority to issue orders to Mossos. The disobedience will fuel further speculation the Mossos will not work for the National Civil Guard in Spain's largest regional economy. The standoff came a day after Prime Minister Rajoy's government acknowledged in sending more reinforcement to help control street demonstrations and carry out a separate court order that to halt the vote. Additionally, the latest move by Madrid will also increase the tension between the two sides, which increasingly looks like it could descend into a direct confrontation as neither side appears to be willing to back down. Carlos Puigdemont, Catalonia's president, called the independence vote in an attempt to push the secession movement forward after decades of political and legal fights over the region's traditions and language. Since Rajoy took office in 2011, he's had persistent clashes with separatists seeking to foment a backlash against Madrid. Catalonia is home to about 7.5 million people, or 16% of the population, but accounts for a fifth of the economy, on par with Portugal and Finland. Several pro-independence groups have called for widespread protests on Sunday in central Barcelona. Let's respond to the state with an unstoppable wave of democracy, a WhatsApp message which was used to organize the demonstration read. Catalonian government opened a new website on Saturday with details of how and where to vote on October 1st, challenging several court rulings that had blocked previous sites and declared the referendum unconstitutional. "You can't stem the tide," Catalonia's president said on Twitter in giving the link to the new website. But Spanish Prime Minister Mario Rajoy insisted again that the vote should not go ahead. "It will not happen because this will mean liquidating the law," he said at the PP event in Palma de Mallorca. Acting on court orders, the Spanish state police has already raided the regional government offices, arrested temporarily several senior Catalan officials accused of organizing the referendum, and seized ballot papers, ballot boxes, voting lists, and electoral material and literature. The finance ministry in Madrid has also taken control of regional finances to make sure public money is not being spent to pay for the logistics, the vote, or the campaign. How this escalating clash between Madrid and Catalonia is resolved over the coming week will define the fate of Spain for years to come. So, let me just throw this out there. Some people come together somewhere and they take some land over, usually by some war, killing off the local inhabitants. I'm going to refer to you as America. When Columbus came over and founded America, which had tons of Indians on it, and we had to kill them off, and then declared our own country. So forget about that for a minute. But nonetheless, this is how it happens pretty much everywhere. We create a country, and we have this constitution, and that's it. But the constitution in all these countries was created by a handful of people. Not the citizens, just a tiny handful of people. And everyone says, well, that sounds pretty good. Okay, we'll agree to that. But then the government starts to get out of line. And they start to reinterpret stuff. And that doesn't say that. Yes, it does. My Supreme Court justice says it does. Yeah, but you handpicked him. We didn't vote for that guy. And you got to pick him. So what? He's the guy. So I'm telling you, your interpretation is completely wrong. No, it's not. So does everyone say, well, you know that Constitution thing? Yeah, I guess we'll let you interpret it the way you need to, and we'll just let you step on our necks with your boot. You know, that's fine. Or do the people stand up and say something that George Bush Jr. once said about the Constitution? It's just a goddamn piece of paper. And say, we don't accept it anymore. We did accept it in the beginning. We don't anymore. So now what? That Constitution or whatever it is over there is meaningless. We are a group of people, 7.5 million in total, who have decided we no longer want to be part of that. It's pretty simple. It's really that simple. But the law states, oh, well, the law also states, like in our country, that Hillary Clinton should be in jail a long time ago. And a whole lot of other politicians with her. Both Democrat, Republican, you name it. And they're not. And they don't get in trouble. And there's no war crimes on anybody. And there's no nothing. We got a law and we got a Constitution too. How's that working out for us? So at some point, the people in unison scream, we've had enough. Ain't no law, Constitution, written works. It's written in stone. It's meaningless. When the people have had enough, they've had enough. Why do you think there's these things called civil wars? Because it happens. And then whatever was there before, Constitution, law, the king, the law of the land, is now meaningless and gone, and something new comes. So Spain, I wish you all luck. And Catalonia, I really wish you guys luck. Take care, everybody.